I want him dead!
He didn't raise his voice. He didn't reach for a weapon. He didn't even blink. He just leaned forward, placed both hands slowly on the table, and said 4 words that froze the room. I want him dead. Silence. Not the kind you hear, the kind you feel. The waiter behind the curtain stopped moving. The man by the door went still. Even the air felt heavier. And in that moment, I understood something. Those weren't angry words. They were final words. Because in that world, when a man says something like that calmly, it's already been decided. I looked at him carefully, not shocked, not emotional, just calculating. Because the man sitting across from me was not someone you argued with. He was old school. The kind of man whose reputation arrived before he did. The kind who didn't repeat himself, didn't explain himself, didn't need to. But the real problem wasn't him, not yet. The real problem was who he wanted dead. Because the man he was talking about worked for me. And right then, I knew this wasn't gonna end clean. The day before felt normal. Too normal. Busy, loud, controlled chaos. Deals happening, voices rising, money moving. The usual. Until it wasn't. I heard it before I saw it. A voice. Sharp. Aggressive. Out of place. I looked down from my office, and there he was. Jerry. 6'4". Confident. Too confident sometimes. One of the best closers I ever had, but also the kind of guy who didn't know when to pull back. He was arguing with a customer. Hands moving. Voice rising. The other man was different. Calm. Still. But his eyes weren't angry. They were insulted. And that's worse. Because anger passes. Insult stays. I watched for a few minutes. Then I turned away, went back to work. And that was the moment everything went wrong. Because I didn't know it yet, but that argument was already setting something in motion. Something I wouldn't be able to stop. About 20 minutes later, Jerry walked in. Still talking fast, still brushing it off. Guy wanted his money back, said we sold him junk. I nodded. Routine, nothing unusual. Then he said it. He started dropping names. I looked at him. What names? He shrugged. Some guy, Mario or something. Just like that, everything shifted. Because names like that don't get said by accident. They mean something. They carry weight. Consequences. I leaned forward. What did he say to him? He smirked. I told him I don't care who he knows. Silence. I didn't respond immediately. With that answer, dangerous. That's when it hit me. Not all at once, but slowly. The kind of realization creeps in right before things fall apart. This wasn't just an argument anymore. The next day, a call came. Short, direct. I need to see you. No explanation, no details, no option. Just a time and a place. Brooklyn. And right then, I knew it. This was about Jerry. So I didn't go alone. I never did. Jerry came with us. Another guy, too. We drove in. Quiet ride. No jokes. No music. Just tension. We pulled up. The place looked normal. But it wasn't. Nothing about it was. I turned to them. Wait here. Because this meeting wasn't for them. And if things went the way I thought they might, they needed to be far from that table.
If this went bad, they weren't walking out with me. Inside, it was quiet. Too quiet. I was greeted by someone I trusted, which meant one thing. This wasn't random. This was arranged. There's someone here to meet you. I already knew, but I asked anyway. Who? He looked at me, carefully. Mario. There it was. The same name, now real, now sitting somewhere in that building, waiting. We walked to the back room, and there he was, heavyset, still, watching, not speaking yet, just studying me. Because men like him, they don't rush, they observe. And in that moment, I realized something else. This meeting had already been decided before I walked in. We sat down. No small talk, no distractions, just silence. Then he spoke. "You got a guy named Jerry?" I nodded. "Yes." He leaned forward, slowly, deliberately. Then he said it again. "I want him dead." No hesitation, no anger, no emotion, just a decision, already made. And in that moment, everything became clear. This wasn't a conversation, it was a test, and how I responded was going to decide everything. There were only two options: agree or refuse. Agree, I lose my man. Refuse, I risk something bigger. Respect, power, position. I needed time. Seconds. That's all. So I stood up, calm, controlled. "I'll be right back." I walked out, straight to Jerry.
Listen carefully. He's here. Jerry froze. Go. Now. No questions. Because if he stayed and said one wrong word, I wouldn't be able to help him. And that was the truth. The kind of truth that doesn't give second chances. I went back in, sat down, looked him straight in the eye, and did the only thing I could do. I lied. I heard everything. He didn't disrespect anyone. Not true. But truth didn't matter anymore. Survival did. And survival doesn't care about the truth. He didn't believe me. I could see it. But he couldn't prove I was lying. And that was enough. We went back and forth, pressure building, time stretching. Then finally, he shifted. Fine, I won't kill him. Pause. Then, I'll put him in the hospital. And just like that, we were right back on the edge. I leaned forward, calm, steady. If you touch him, I touch yours. Silence. Because now, this wasn't about one man anymore. This was balance, respect, consequences. We stared at each other, measuring, waiting. Then I made my move. I'll give him a new car, brand new, no cost. Tell him he won. That was the way out, the only clean way out. He thought about it, longer than I liked. Then finally, he nodded. And just like that, it was over. But not really, because moments like that, they don't just end, they stay with you. Here's what most people don't understand. That meeting was never about a car. It wasn't about Jerry. It wasn't even about respect. It was about control. Because in that world, the moment you lose control, you lose everything. And sometimes, saving a life means bending the truth, making deals, standing your ground at exactly the right moment. Because one wrong move, one wrong word, 1 second too late, and that story ends differently. Because in that world, there are no second chances, no warnings, no apologies, just decisions and consequences. And sometimes, people don't get a way out. They just disappear.